my name is Zuzana and welcome to my Piano Promise channel dedicated to help you to learn how to play piano or improve your piano playing. Today my session is dedicated to one of the most popular pieces in classical music and a nightmare of almost every piano teacher, and I'm one of them. Why? Because so many people are learning this piece, they want to be able to play this piece, but I have heard so many people playing with a certain mistake. There are common issues and errors and bad habits, and I would like to share with you my tips and my insights so you can play and learn this piece correctly. Now, before we are going to more details, let's talk about the piece. So this piece is called For Elise or For Elise. So who was Elise? So there are many discussions who Elise was. But apparently there are three main candidates. One is called Elise, one is called Elizabeth, and one is called Therese. I personally think it was Therese because Therese was Beethoven's friend, close friend, and also student, private student, and he was teaching her around 1810 when he wrote this piece. He proposed to her, and apparently she said no. So it's sad, but doesn't really matter. The main thing, as a result, we have this beautiful romantic piece who everybody knows. Now, the last thing you need to know is the form of this piece. It's written in something called rondo form. So rondo is like a circle, so the main theme is coming back. And this piece is in the form where you have these parts, part A, then you have part B, then back to part A, there is part C, and then the end is part A. So I'm going to play for you these parts A, B, and C, and then I'm going to talk about more in details what you need to know. Just that you know, part A I see, and I feel it needs to be played with this romantic feel and lightly, and with this kind of sense of being in love and innocent. Now part B is more lively and it's playful, and then part C is the dramatic part with the climax. So it's the climax of the piece. So let's listen to it. Part A. Now part B. And part C. I played for you part A, B, and C, and now let's talk about each of these parts in more detail. So let's start with part A. What you need to know about part A, so few important things. First thing is to know about time signature. It's 3/8 time signature. So it means that we have 3 quaver beats in one bar, and the quaver is for one beat. That's different to 3/4, and I think lots of people play this piece as they think they are in 3/4 time signature. We still have 3 beats in one bar, but it's just, you know, once when you are trained as a musician, you just know that someone thinks in 3/4 and not in 3/8 time signature. Now, this is first thing to know. Now, second thing, it's about phrase, and let's start with this iconic phrase everybody knows. Why? Because it's important where you are going to put the stress and how you need to start the piece. So when you look at the piece, you know it's written in the beginning. The first bar is actually incomplete bar. We call it anacrusis. So it means that we only have a 1 beat there and not 3 beats. So that means that we are not going to start straight away with the accent. We should just start very gently and build through the phrase and finish the phrase nicely and softly. So I'm going to show it to you now. So this is the phrase starting with E, and notice that I put slight accent. It's more tenuto, so lean on a note on A, not on the first E. So I will do it once more, and now A stronger and C softly. So this is the first phrase. Also, what you need to know and to be very careful of is the rest. There are many rests in this piece, and I noticed that many people just don't actually think about the rest, they actually ignore it. And I always say rest is so equal to the sound. So if we have rest for one beat, it's a silence for one beat, and that's very important in this piece. So if I go once more, play the same phrase for you, rest, rest, and soft. And then you go to next phrase. Again, don't start with a strong note, not E. A, lean on a note there, and soft. Now we go to the second part. E stronger, D, C, and softly B, because it's the end of the phrase. It's also sequence because we go in the same pattern down, and then it's something what I call E octave phrase, or not phrase, but a line, which needs to be played very lightly and gently, gracefully. So so this is what's important about this ride. And so as I said, it's about keeping timing correctly, phrasing, don't put stress on not right spot, and keep the rest to be a silent for certain amount of the beats. Now let's go to the left hand. Lots of people play left hand in this way, so it means they are holding the notes. And I said no, because each of these notes is a semiclaver, so each is equally, it should be equally played, not longer than other. They're all equal, so they should sound like that. Also notice that I play the last note softly. It's not loud, and especially because we have to finish this broken chord with the thumb, make sure that it sounds softer. I always say it's like brush away, so that gives you a little bit softer feel. And then you have rest, so again be careful about it. And then you have a next broken chord and next broken chord. So don't play it in this way, so you're holding the notes, or I call it slurring, yes? So make sure each one are equal, like that. And next. And when you count the rest, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and this is through whole part A. Now let's go to part B. Now before we go to the main theme of part B, there are a few chords. This is the section. Now I call it like a little bridge. So what it means for me, it's like creating a slight crescendo and decrescendo, especially the last chord needs to be played softly. Again, it's like we brush away and then have a little bit of gap between this bridge, little bridge, and then main theme. So just kind of, you are creating a bit of expectation or tension. So, soft. And now, let's go through the right hand, section B. Now, this part B, actually, I divide into two sections, B1 and B2. This is B1. Now, what you need to be careful about, my favorite phrasing, so again, you have to be just aware where is the end of the phrase and where you need to play the note softer, and also all the notes need to be played nicely and clearly and simply. Simplicity is very important here. Now, the first note, ornamentation, just play softly, and then you have the main note is C, which is a principal note, and put a slight accent or lean on the note there, and then you have the end of the phrase on D, and then you go to next and soft A softly. Now build a bit of tension, crescendo here, and softly. B needs to be played softly. Now if we talk about left hand, now left hand here, it's about the broken chords. Now this is just try to play it evenly as much as you can, simply, again, don't slur, Don't hold the notes. They just need to be very, very played as a single note. Da 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 dee da 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 pam pam. Through whole piece. Through whole this section. Now let's go to section B2. So this is the section which is more technical. And again, repeat. That's the end of this part. So what you need to be careful here when it comes to right hand is, as you notice, you have the notes in this bar, which if you notice I emphasize the one which are changing, and I was keeping G as a one, the same note in the same level, like softly played. So emphasize the ones which are changing. Now crescendo, decrescendo, and start again. And just softly finish the phrase again, softly with gentle sound. Now left hand is played, I heard many people playing different way. I do it in a way that it's kind of a staccato but rather semi-staccato, with a little crescendo and decrescendo. So just simply, as I said, it needs to be very playful and lively, so don't make it difficult or don't make it too complex, just simply. Now let's go to part C. Part C, as I said, it's dramatic, it's climax. So here, few things, especially when it comes to right hand, make sure that you see this part divide into phrases again. This is the first one, which is finishing here on A minor chord. So for me, this chord needs to be played softly, and within the phrase you are creating crescendo and decrescendo. I call it like open the phrase and close the phrase. So it's crescendo. Also make sure that you are not playing chords in what I call as a broken chord, but it's a one single sound. And then we go to the next phrase. Soft. Next phrase. This one is longer. And here, this is the most powerful bar of this piece, and then from there it's this climax. Then you go down and finish gently. Again, brush away, keep the rest for one beat, 2 beats. Now, so this is this important part in right hand. So as I said, you know, create nice phrases and nice tension. Now left hand is very much about ostinato notes, so it means one note, the same note. In first few bars you have A. My edition suggests to use fingers 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, which helps just to keep steady, even sound. And also what I always suggest to my students, just to play the first note of this phrase with little accent, da, 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 da. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and because then you know where is the next bar and you are not lost in these many A's. And then you go to the next bar, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and so always is this feel of 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, and needs to be played very evenly, lightly, because it's actually right hand is the one who has a melody, not left hand, so that's important. Now then we go to the little cadenza, which is all about A minor broken chord going up octave and octave higher, so just played very evenly, lightly, simply. And then you have a little bit of, when you go up, little bit of chromatism going down, chromatic scales going down. So I usually kind of slow down. There is, for me, it's rubato, slow down, ritenuto, so just before you start the last and the famous part A. So I think it's all, just to kind of generally talking about the piece, is supposed to be played, as I always say, it's not difficult to learn, but it's always difficult to play something correctly and with enthusiasm and with the right mood. So this is the piece which we said it's about dedicated to a lady. Beethoven is apparently in love, and it's supposed to be played probably more gently, part of part C, which is more dramatic, and you can use more crescendo and more going towards forte. Tempo indication is poco moto, which means like a little bit of movement, so not too much, it's not too fast, don't play too fast, not too slow, nicely reflect, it's kind of nice and nice steady feel to it. So I think that's all. I think that I covered all these main areas. I hope that you find them useful, and if you would like to send me feedback or write a comment, I would love to hear from you. Enjoy learning this piece, enjoy playing it, and if you would like to, please subscribe to my channel. I always come with some new videos. Thank you, all the best, see you soon. Bye bye.